All right.
Morning, gamers.
Hello, hello, and
Final day.
yeah, and welcome
I
to
forgot
Vice City.
Tweet that we're live.
Oh. All right, reset.
You run the show. I'll be right back.
All right, so welcome to Vice City, gamers, and we'll be doing any % no SSU. And can we go, or are we?
Yeah.
All right, so
let's get you going.
can you count down for me?
Sure.
I cannot count.
3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Thank you. So, in case you're wondering why the game is in Japanese, can you tell us, English Ben?
What are you gonna do?
I can do it while live tweeting. Yes. So there's two sort of different versions of Vice City. There is the regular version that you would play like on Steam, and then there are re-releases that came out a couple of months after, because the Haitian people, those group of snowflakes, they didn't like the fact that they were all called dickheads and stuff in this game. So Rockstar was forced, because of the backlash, to release a new set of versions for the Australian release, the Polish re-releases, Japanese is another one of them, that basically like censors a lot of that stuff. And because of the changes in the code that they made, it actually allows for the offsets in the game to be different. Now, you don't need to worry about offsets are unless you're a mega geek, but you just need to know that basically, like, the way the code is structured is different, and that allows different glitches to be possible on Japanese that aren't possible on the international versions.
Yeah.
Are you going for one frame, you psychopath?
I am.
Okay, no.
I don't think we've had one frame in marathons or any of the events.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's been bold enough to try it, but I respect it.
I already fucked up the cutscene, so it's gonna be tougher. I'm used to moving away from that guy from Titan Vice. I don't really have to now.
We had to play the easy version of this game again.
Yeah. Oh my god. Alright.
Will you be working for my father?
Maybe.
Oh, there's no ramp. Nice.
Powerful father. Vamos. See you around.
I've tweeted.
Nice. Let's go.
So yeah, usually if you're watching a speedrun of this game at a marathon, you would see a lot of sort of different, rampage shenanigans, and the first like 4 or 5 minutes would basically be spent talking about how all of that works. But Mili is choosing not to do that route. He's actually doing a far less consistent but a little bit faster route. But
Yeah.
it's kind of good for the marathon actually, because you don't need to explain anything. Like usually, if you were like commentating a run like this, you would have like 4 minutes to explain basically the entire game's mechanics, and then for the rest of the game it's quite chill. Whereas this, it's sort of more spread out because you don't do any rampage abuse until way later on. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing casual so far.
Yeah, it's essentially casual with a couple of different strategies, but basically the way the two routes differ is he's going to be duping Jury Fury, which, if you're not too familiar with, basically the game has two different states, on mission 1 and on mission 0. On mission 1 means you're on a mission, and on mission 0 means you're in like free run mode, right? So basically the idea is that you can do a number of different tricks. Rampages is one of them, and the one frame trick, which is what we call this route, is another way of doing it that's just slightly faster. And it's basically a way to trick the game into thinking that you're not on a mission when you are, and that allows you to basically start the mission a second time and dupe the mission, as we call it. Jury Fury has a very particular property in that when you dupe it with the right timing, it actually passes the mission right away. You don't actually have to complete the mission, because the objective of the mission is to like do a lot of damage to two jurors' cars to intimidate them. But if you dupe the mission, a second set of cars spawns on top of the first ones, they damage themselves, and then the mission passes.
I just realized I don't have the cutscene now. It's alright.
You need the cutscene?
No.
I was gonna say it should be fine. Yeah, so here Mili is gonna get a 1-star wanted level, and this cop car always spawns in this alleyway if you approach it from a certain angle with a wanted level. And then he's going to go and pick up the clothes icon, which basically just switches clothes for you, and it also removes your wanted level if you have 2 stars or less. And the reason he's going to do that is because he needs a phone call to come in. So after you kill Leo in the previous mission, you get the ability to take phone calls. And then he's going to do a very particular setup here. I'll let him concentrate.
Need to wait a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it. Whatever. We can retry. Have to wait 20 seconds now.
Yeah. So basically how this works is, I mean, I believe this is how it works. I've never really looked into it, but from what I know, basically if you hold on to your submission, which is like, you know, your vigilante, your firefighter and stuff like that, and then you hold the button as you get out the car, and then let go of the button on a certain frame, basically what happens... Nice.
Alright, more crap to wipe up.
Yeah, basically there's like
Leo, I think we got
there's like a sequence of frames, and what happens is you exit the car, and then on one single frame there is enough time for the phone call to come in before the game like checks whether you're still like on mission 1 or not. So then you oh, do you have a replay?
I don't think I have a replay, no. I'm pressing F3. Why did it not work?
Oh,
that is weird.
I don't know.
Well, never seen that before. I spammed F3. That's what you have to do there.
You can't just cancel the call?
No. You can't.
Rip.
Shit. Marathon luck.
Yeah, that's strange. But yeah, so just to finish the explanation, basically there's like a sequence of frames, and there's like a slight delay in the check. Make sure you don't like crash the game or anything, by the way, because you still got 1 instance of Jury Fury running, I think.
Oh yeah, true. So I need to die on mission 1.
You should just be able to start the mission again, though. Just like start it and take the call later.
Oh, true.
Like you're just on mission 0 now with the...
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're on mission 1 now.
Yeah, I had a call, yeah.
Yeah, to start the mission, and then I think it should pass. And then just take the call afterwards.
I've never had to do this, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Moron.
Yep.
But yeah, because of that delay, before it checks, like with the submission and whatnot, you can actually like let go of the submission key. So then the call comes in, and then 1 frame later, you actually like cancel the submission. So then canceling the submission puts you on mission 0. But your phone is still ringing because the check for the call came in first, like 1 frame prior. So essentially what happens is you have an on mission 0 phone call, which means that your phone is ringing. And usually phone calls are like considered missions in this game. As you can see, like Mili is now taking a phone call, but it doesn't let him start the mission, which is right there. Because, you know, he's like busy, right? But if you have an on mission 0 phone call, then you can actually like take the call and start the mission at the same time. And then once the phone call finishes, it sets you on mission 0 again, and then you can start Jury Fury for a second time and dupe it that way. And yeah, it's quite inconsistent. Well, I guess it's consistent, it's just very hard because it's frame perfect. Yeah, it's basically just a quicker way to set up that's faster than the page setups that you usually see.
So yeah, if you're starting with this game and this category, I don't recommend you do this
Yeah.
this route. Definitely watch English Ben's tutorial for this on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot more beginner ways to do this.
Yep.
So also what was supposed to happen, and sort of to explain the confusion a little bit, was so if you don't have a replay in your like your game local files, like you've never stored one before, or you delete the one that you've stored, then when you're taking a phone call and you press F3 to play the replay that you should have stored but haven't, basically what happens is it like skips all of the audio in the game. So you can use that to basically have like a modified phone call skip. So it tries to play the audio can't play, so then it just skips on to the next line of the call. And it basically means that you can like answer the phone, sit in silence for like 3 seconds, and then the phone call's considered answered because it just skips through all the lines without being able to play any of the audio. So those two glitches, like combined, basically allow you to dupe jury theory without any prior setup, besides like one very quick one-frame trick, and then skip all the phone calls in the early game as well.
Yeah. This is mostly used in dupeless, and not here, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it sounds great to be able to skip like basically all the phone calls in the game, but it's actually not that fast. Because as you can see, Mili went and pretty much as soon as he activated the glitch, he went and made a replay straight afterwards, because you save more time by using replays in more broken ways, because replays are super broken in this game.
Yeah, in all missions it saves like over a minute, I believe. It's insane in all missions.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because you have like a bunch of calls that you take earlier than usual, right? You have like Sunny Call and stuff.
Always ranchers.
Yeah. Yeah, so he made a replay over seemingly nothing in the multi-story car park just after starting this mission. But essentially how replays work is you can store a replay of Tommy standing over something. So in that case there's nothing there, but there will be later on. And if you pick up something, like conventionally, you can pick it up in a replay as well. So essentially you make a replay standing over something like a rampage, or like a mission pickup like a briefcase, or in this case a gun, and then you can basically remotely pick up any item in the game.
Oh, okay.
So what that's going to allow Mili to do is when he starts Guardian Angels, at that exact place in the multi-story car park where he made the replay, which had nothing there, there's actually going to be an assault rifle spawning. And the way the mission progresses is once you pick up that assault rifle, Lance comes and takes you away and is like, oh, let's go to this meet or whatever. So it's basically like the next stage of the mission. So what that replay allows him to do in essence is basically start the mission and then immediately play the replay, which picks up the gun remotely from across the map, and then immediately get teleported to the next section of the mission, which is Zoom Zoom. So, still quite a lot to explain, but not nearly as much as usual, which is nice. Usually it takes me about 25 minutes before I can start talking about the actual game. Yeah, fortunately these missions are pretty easy. They're pretty conventional compared to the standard missions that you do in this game. They're pretty by the book, so it means that you can talk about other stuff. But yeah, that's the strat there that you see. So Mili gets on the bike, and once he's fully on the bike, he just presses F3 and picks up the gun, and then just immediately teleports to the next section.
I love this.
You don't actually need to pick up the gun, because when you collect it in a replay, depending on the circumstances, it doesn't always count it as actually collected. So in this case, you still would have to pick up the gun manually if you wanted to use it, but it's not actually required to progress the mission. Excuse me. And we're going to get a lot more broken guns later on, so the Kruger isn't used for anything.
No. I hate the gun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Move your ass. It's this nice lady's bill.
Alright, so this is the deal. We're gonna go for grenades, and the strat for that is you have to look the deal's direction in order to not fail it. Because if you look away, it just counts like you fleed or something.
Yeah, the game has a check to basically distinguish whether or not you're in proximity of the deal. But instead of actually using a proximity from the location, all it checks for is Diaz on camera, and are you within a certain proximity. So because of that extra check, where you can always make sure that Diaz is on camera if you're looking at him, then you can basically never fail this mission, even though usually you would for like abandoning the deal. So Mili can use that to go and grab some grenades while he's waiting for these guys to spawn, because they're on a timer, and you can't speed it up. These guys spawn on fixed intervals, and as long as you're in time to kill the last set of guys, then you're fine.
Yep.
You don't lose any time. You can do whatever you want during this mission. And those grenades are going to be very useful later, you'll see.
Ooh, got it.
And this mission also makes very clear how overpowered the chainsaw is. You can just one-hit everyone. But earlier on, Mili overwrote his replay with a close replay. And close replays, when you play them just before cutscenes, they actually take away control and then give control back to you after a few seconds. So basically, it allows you to gain control during
Like
cutscenes.
this.
I live!
Yeah.
Big heads! And it's all
As you can see, Mili abuses it a lot at the end of this mission to kill those guys inside of the cutscene before they have a chance to drive away. Usually you would have to chase them like through the alleyways to get the stuff back for Diaz, but you can just kill them before they even have a chance.
I don't know why is my timer not splitting. Whatever, it's weird.
Live split sucks.
Yeah.
More news at 11. So this is what's called the gate zip. It's one of the rare out of bounds in this game. So this game is like super broken, but out of bounds isn't really something that you see too much. It's very possible to go out of bounds in a lot of places, but it's not particularly useful. But basically the way it works is you clip out of bounds, and then the game notices that you're out of bounds and kind of panics, and it kicks in a failsafe that basically says, like, if you're out of bounds and you're, falling and oh god, like Tommy's in a really weird position, we don't know what to do with him, let's place a bunch of checkpoints around the map, and whichever one is the closest to him at the time will teleport him to that, like, safe space, right? So it just so happens that if you clip out of bounds just outside of Starfish Island, it will teleport you to the nearest location that's safe, and it's actually on the other side of the locked gate. So usually you would have to answer the call from Diaz after Guardian Angels, and then he would say like, oh, come and work for me, and magically the gate unlocks to Starfish Island. But if you clip out of bounds like that, then you can actually clip through the gate, take the phone call that would usually unlock the gate while you're already running to Diaz, and then start the mission right away. Saves you waiting at the gate like a dumbass.
You better keep on running, asshole!
Alright, so this trick.
Yeah, you can explain this one.
I don't know how this works exactly.
So basically, it's more close replay abuse. Essentially what happens is you play a close replay just before the cutscene starts to gain control in the cutscene. Then usually what would happen is this guy jumps down and a guy spawns in a BF injection to like drive him away, and you have to chase him to his location. And once he gets to his location, and you're like within a certain distance, then the mission passes. But basically what you can do is you can gain control in the cutscene, pull the driver of the BF injection out and kill him, and then you essentially like play musical chairs. As soon as the gunner, who is the important guy for the mission, his like AI gets activated. You get in the car and then get out the car, and then it basically times it. So just as he's hopping into the driver's seat, because he also tries to get in the car with you, then you also get in at the same time, and you essentially like overwrite him inside of the car. So it looks like Tommy is just driving the car by himself, but you're actually basically sat on the lap of the guy that you're supposed to be chasing. It's a very weird trick. I don't know why it works, like, in terms of the technicalities, but it looks pretty cool. And then, yeah, it means that you can drive him to his destination, because usually they would take, like, a really weird route all the way around the pole, and obviously they don't drive at full speed either.
Thank God for this thread, though, because that would be annoying if you had to go the casual way.
Yeah, it's much slower than you think, so, yeah.
I've seen like the first strats for this were like using Infernus or something.
Yeah, the 2012 strat was you would keep your Infernus from previously, and then you would steal the car without a close replay, because your replay is what I think back then. You would steal the car, and then you would
We ain't got my money either, so I'm one of them myself.
go and get the BF injection and throw it into the ocean so it'd be destroyed.
Yeah.
And then what the guy would do is he would just try and get into the closest car. So he would try and get in your Infernus, and then you drive him with the Infernus.
Jesus.
Which is a very cool strat, but, you know, it's slow for today's standards, but still saves like a minute over the old way. It's just quite a longer setup.
One thing puzzling me. What's with Quentin? I don't know.
Alright, so this is another use of the close replay in this mission here.
Hey, I got enough of that at school.
It's neat.
Fans, poor bastard. Where the hell are we headed?
Close replays are stupidly overpowered.
You ever fire one of those from a
Crazy.
No, I'll get a bit of
All you need to do here to set up this glitch, it's really easy, is just play the close replay and then right click, which allows you to exit like the sort of first person turret mode as we call it. And then for some reason it completely like breaks the animations, and it allows you to shoot at 1 bullet per frame.
And you're on your way.
You're also not limited by the helicopter camera, sort of, like, so you can move freely.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
This game like forces you to look in certain directions, which means that you can't kill the guys nearly as efficiently that you have to. But here you can just basically pre-fire every single spawn, and they stand no chance. You take 0 damage. This mission on the original PS2 with the forced camera is usually pretty crap.
It's about sharing.
This thing ain't cheap to fix. Take them out.
We're gonna kill Lens here.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're not intended to even be able to potentially shoot Lance, then the game doesn't have a check for him being, you know, dead. Well, I guess it does, but it doesn't have a check for you shooting him in the head like that. So what it allows you to do is, if you're quick enough and you time it right, you can shoot him just as he starts lowering you down, which makes him lower you down a lot more quickly. And then as long as you complete the mission before the game realizes that Lance is dead, then he'll just come and pick you up from the grave.
Yeah.
So you know, Lance is a real pro. Everyone hates him, but even when he's dead, he'll be reliable to come and pick you up.
Usted está escuchando la radio que hace la ciudad bailar y sudar. Sacude la ropa. Esta canción está preparada para las mujeres. Adiós, patos.
I'm a VIP, and I want to live around people just like myself, rich and divorced.
No wonder he gets annoyed that he's doing everything for Tommy, and Tommy does nothing.
A short drive out of town on some pristine land, away from the noise
Right.
and uninvited diversity of...
Alright, so this is like the easiest strat here. You just teleport into the boat, because you're in the zone, like, you're in the zone of of the boat, like the end. You know what?
My prostate. Farewell, Red.
The game doesn't have any animations for the boat entering, so we just teleport
the
you.
game's super old, so yeah, they just teleport you in based on proximity.
Yeah. Ooh, banger song. Just as we finish the mission. So we're getting the sniper rifle here, which is gonna be useful in the...
Right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Half an hour from now.
In the second to last mission.
Yeah, sniper rifles are extremely broken in this game, just like everything in this game, if you know how to use it properly. Playing some close replay to move in the cutscene with the boat here. Are you doing 800 nades as well?
Yeah.
So, if you watch the Vice City 100% run, you'll probably be familiar with how this works, because we already talked about it in quite a bit of detail. But basically there's the glitch in this game where you can duplicate ammo, for, your ammo count from one weapon to another. And it doesn't really matter which ones you switch from and to. So during Guardian Angels, you're able to farm like 800 Uzi bullets, which is very useful for the rest of the run. And during Guardian Angels, he also collected 4 grenades, right? So imagine if you were able to duplicate the 800 bullets and basically turn that into 800 grenades. And that's exactly what this glitch does.
Yep.
It's quite a long-winded setup. Basically, you have to make sure that you have like the right weapons equipped during the right glitches. But the end product is that at the end of this mission, he's actually going to have the Uzi ammo count, but in the grenade slot. So he's going to end up with like 830 grenades or something, which is going to make Tommy a one-man killing machine, basically.
No. You just basically transfer Uzi ammo into nades. Easy as that.
Aside from that, this mission is completely an auto-scroller once you get into the second half. But as you can see, Mili is still abusing close replays and able to fire at 1 bullet per frame again. It's not nearly as useful during this mission as it is during Phnom Penh, but it's still
What are you doing, Lance?
quite speedy.
You're real proper grade A.
And he plays a close replay to gain control at the end of this cutscene, so then he can move and grab his helicopter, which he left there all the way back just before Phnom Penh.
I hate this. Right. It was like 10 centimeters in the bad position.
Yeah, this landing is way more difficult than it looks because the sort of like poles that stick out, I don't even know what they are, like little like stalagmites or whatever.
Yeah. Weird.
Basically, their hitbox is way bigger than they are, so you can collide with them even though you're not really hitting them. It's pretty dumb.
Yeah, hitboxes in this game in general are awful.
Yeah. Yeah, the radar at the airport is my favorite one.
Yeah.
No matter where the radar is spinning, it's like basically a big square, so you just collide with thin air when you're doing the stunt jumps and stuff. It's very epic. So finally enough close replay abuse. Mili is gonna, after about half an hour of abusing close replays, it's finally time to make a new one. It's gonna make a replay over the Cherry Poppers assets. So assets are buildings that you can purchase in the game, and they're very vital to the story because later on Basically, the second half of this game is you buying assets and completing missions for them in order to like take over the city, right? The benefit of actually like buying an asset via a replay, one, it allows you to teleport to the asset, which is, you know, very quick, as we'll see later on.
From anywhere.
Yeah, and two, it actually allows you to purchase the property without spending any money. So as long as you can afford it in the first place, which Mili can because it's 20,000 and he's got 21,000, then he buys it for 20,000, but as you can see, he hasn't spent any money and he's still got the 21,000. So this glitch actually allows us to not farm any money during the game. Back in the good old days, you would have to farm like cone crazy or something to get enough money to buy all the properties that you need to complete the game. But that's not necessary anymore due to that glitch, which is very nice.
Yo, Tommy, it's Lance.
Yeah?
Oh, nice to hear from you, Lance. Hey, come on, man. Be cool, be cool.
I'm in the middle of something. What do you want?
Nothing. Just to say, you know, look, Tommy, we can do this thing. You and me, no problem. You know what I mean?
We're going to have to do it, because otherwise we're going to be dead, Lance. We're in too far now. But thanks for the call. Speak to you later.
So this is called glitching cars. You basically just shoot them, and as they get out, you play a replay. And what that does, it just get the car and the car just gets stuck in the memory. And yeah, the game has like a limit, memory limit. And if you glitch too many cars, there's not gonna be a traffic anymore on the map in the city. So that's why we do it, to get rid of the traffic. It's gonna be very useful later on.
Yeah, the game is only has so much memory that it can dedicate to things like traffic and pedestrians and whatnot. So if you glitch a lot of cars in memory, then the game basically runs out of room to spawn any new ones. So you have no traffic on the road, which is very nice.
I played replays there to keep the blades spinning. That's a neat little optimization.
Yeah, during replays, the game doesn't progress at all. It basically sort of freezes the game. But if
Except
an audio
phone calls.
line is playing, yeah, like a phone call or something, then that isn't actually affected. Like the way the audio works is it just, you know, plays an MP3 and just keeps playing it no matter what. So yeah, you can basically use it to answer the phone call while keeping the state of the game in the exact same state that it was before you started doing the replays. And that previous state in this case is keeping the heli blades spinning rather than, you know, letting them stop spinning and then you have to get in the helicopter and starting to spin them up again.
Planning blown to shit. Thanks to you. You screwed up real good, Lance. He killed my brother.
This is also a somewhat risky strat. It's not really super risky, but basically during this mission you only actually have to kill the guy right next to Lance. You don't actually have to kill any of the other guys. So what you can do, if you're ballsy enough, is you can just run into the compound, kill the last guy, trigger the cutscene, and then just run through everyone else and just tank all the hits.
No.
And if you're quick enough, it's not super risky. But obviously it's one of those things where like the slower you are, the higher chance you're going to just get blasted. So it's something I wouldn't usually recommend to beginners either.
Yeah, you're gonna get really unlucky. Like I had 200 HP and they took quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or you can take like 10 damage.
Get patched up and maybe on the bridge.
Always the way it goes.
Okay, I got you.
If they feel like killing you, they will. That's how I see it. If the stars align that day, you will drop dead. So Mili re-enters the helicopter here, and that's for a very particular reason. So this game tracks vehicles that you've been in, and it basically has like a priority list of like personal vehicles. So Tommy can have 2 personal vehicles at any one time. So let's say you have vehicle A and vehicle B, and then if you enter vehicle C and that gets put on the list, vehicle A will be removed from the list, so it'll despawn, right? So There's also things called mission vehicles, which are sort of separate from that list. But mission vehicles, like that helicopter, because he used it for that mission and picked up Lance and everything in it and like hit the final cutscene, the mission classes it as a mission vehicle. Sorry, the game classes it as a mission vehicle. And after you complete the mission, all mission vehicles and assets and stuff are set to despawn. So if he didn't re-enter that helicopter to turn it into his personal vehicle again, then the helicopter would despawn as soon as he started to rub out and got too far away from the helicopter.
With assholes. Be careful.
But he basically wants to keep this helicopter at the top of his like personal vehicle priority list, so then he can use it for basically the rest of the run.
What is this? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this clip can be pretty annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky that the right guy just ignored me.
He didn't shoot you at all.
Yeah, I was just standing there.
Yeah. There's nothing really to that clip. There's nothing really to explain. You basically just run into the, into the corner, and you can just walk right through and kill Diaz.
So I entered the save icon to regain health, just in case. Because shakedown can be violent sometimes.
You actually got the cheat message because you, when you were testing and you didn't restart the game, you were messing around. Yeah.
So we're gonna use some grenades here. Actually, using the nades. I have like, over 600. Which is,
usually if you were doing this mission, it's actually random how many bullets it takes in order to destroy the windows. The first one can never destroy it, and then there's a certain percent chance for each subsequent bullet. But if you throw a grenade or use any kind of explosion, then they always blow up. So it basically makes this mission a lot more consistent and a little bit faster.
Yeah, I believe it saves like 6 seconds. It's actually nice.
And it also means that you don't have to go to ammunition in order to buy any grenades as well. Because usually for those like those middle windows at the record store up top, you would throw grenades at them regardless, but you would have to go and buy them first. But because we've already duplicated a load of grenades, you don't actually have to buy them, which is nice.
So I'm gonna warp here to the cherry poppers.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. You can basically teleport to any asset from any place. And it's also very important to remember that he teleported out of the mall specifically. And this is why he's sort of driving around in like the void, because the game still thinks that he's inside of a mall. This is easily fixed. You just need to enter an interior and exit, which we're going to go to the mansion to start the next mission anyway, so it works out. But the reason why the mall is such an important detail is because during a later mission, if you're spotted inside of the mall without a cop uniform, you actually instantly get a 5-star wanted level. And because this whole time the game still thinks that Mili is in the mall, as soon as he starts that mission, he's going to get 5 stars immediately, which sounds really bad, because it's like a bad condition of the mission, but it's actually useful for the speedrun. Because the first objective of that said mission is to get a wanted level, so then you can spawn a bunch of police. And getting instantly 5 stars is a really great way to get the police after you.
Yeah.
It just makes the mission a lot more risky.
Everything in this run is so, like, just... Wait, what is the word I'm looking for? I literally forgot.
I think you mean just, are you gonna say like it's like basically like calculated?
Yeah,
everything is
like
planned out.
Yeah, everything is just planned out.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like Rockstar wanted us to do this.
Yeah, like the run like is basically like perfectly in harmony.
Ooh, nice. I love this. Okay. You're Gucci. I don't think I crouched. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Crouching during this segment basically
it's fine though.
So when the cutscene starts, where these guys start escaping, Tommy is like forced by the mission script to start running towards them. So then he like gets baited, and you have to go and chase them afterwards. But if you crouch, then you can't move at the same time. Like you can't run unless you cancel the crouch. So basically, you just like say to the game, "No, we're not moving anymore." And yeah, it means that you can like position yourself to snipe those guys before they run away.
Come on.
And this is the mission that I was talking about. So Mili's going to take a phone call, and then basically as soon as he starts the mission, he's going to get the cops on his ass, which is
What's eating you?
There's a lot of
scary stuff.
opportunity in this town if you own the right real estate. You catch my drift?
Oh yeah.
So,
Bro.
Oh, we love that.
And you might find
Well, I'm not going for the close replay.
opportunity.
I mean close,
Yeah.
Ivan.
We do actually have a quick donation as well before you start Copland.
Alright.
We have $74 very generous from Shoshi19.
Very nice.
And they say, thanks for the great run and commentary. Thank you, Shoshi. That's
Thank you.
very generous of you.
That's a huge dono.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, there's no traffic at all. Apart from some cops. But yeah, the streets are pretty much empty.
If you had no glitched cars here, so you had normal traffic, there would be
good
like
luck.
tons of cops like just spawning and flinging themselves at you. But yeah, byproduct of having no traffic is that also the game doesn't have too much memory to send cops at you as well, which makes it a lot more consistent. It's not consistent by any means, but it makes it more consistent.
We're gonna chainsaw lines here, casually.
tie him up and gag him.
Yeah.
Get tight around the
It
crotch.
just is also another example of the game just not checking whether Lance is dead, because why would you kill him? Basically, like during the cutscene, you can kill him with like perfect timing, and it actually skips his dialogue. And then because the game like switches outfits and everything, it actually respawns him back in with his cop uniform, so the game thinks he's still alive. Whereas if he was just like, you know, in there the whole time, the game would realize that he's dead after the cutscene and be instantly mission failed. So it just so happens that you can get away with that.
Yeah, these cops are angry at me because I was in the mall, apparently.
Yeah, it makes all these guys aggressive onto you.
It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, if you're on a bike, then they just shoot the bike. You don't really take any damage. But if you were to just walk into the mall, they would destroy you.
I got him.
So, gotta be very careful. But again, this route is all very much planned out. You know what you're doing, so they're no threat to you. But usually, don't try this at home. Because you will get destroyed. And also the benefit of having the helicopter here and all the personal vehicle management that I discussed before basically means that you can just fly back without having to deal with any of the cops. Usually driving back is like really scary because of all the police, but you can just fly straight over them.
So that was Copland. May have looked like not at all difficult, but it's usually like really sweaty.
Yeah, it's there's a number of things that can go wrong during that mission. Like Lance can get himself killed, or he can get you killed, or the cops can screw you over and stuff like that. Mili made it look pretty easy, but I can assure you it's not.
Sonny, remember me?
Hello, Sonny.
That's right, Sonny. We're all friends. You never write me, you never call.
I'm gonna play the save icon replay here
You didn't give me a lot of support.
and buffer, gonna buffer the
Well, I've heard you've been
warp
busy, all right.
into the memory.
Killing drug barons, busy taking
Yeah,
over.
save icons, they basically work similarly to buying assets, but the difference is that the icon isn't always there. So you can only teleport by picking up the icon, and the icon only spawns when you're in the same district, so like downtown, Vice Point, Ocean Beach, etc. So what you can do is you can basically do a setup, so you activate a a save icon replay while you're outside of the district, and then as soon as you go into the district for the next time, you'll teleport as though you picked up the save icon.
Yeah.
So basically what that allows Mili to do is
Everyone, even the
later on, he's going to go towards the final mission of the game and go to Starfish Island. And then the game is going to see that he played a replay over the save icon inside the mansion, and he'll teleport straight to the mansion.
On commercial radio, VCPR is 100% commercial free. Absolutely nothing interrupts your enjoyment of our fine programming and
VCPR.
So here is where you finally see the rampage abuse that you would usually see like 3 minutes into the run. Yeah. But rampages work very similar to phone calls in the sense that they're like side missions. So when you're on a rampage, you know, you have the timer and you've got to kill so many people in a certain amount of time, then you're actually considered on a mission. So what you can do is you can see Mili jumped into the Spilling the Beans marker and played a replay of the Katana rampage at the same time. So then he started the rampage and the mission at the same time. And then the rampage is going to run out and he's going to get put on mission 0 because the rampage failed. But then he's still on the Spilling the Beans mission, and that allows you to dupe missions and, you know, manipulate the variable in exactly the same way.
You enjoying this, punk? Who are you? Oh, I know this.
So running up to this boat is quite scary usually, because you're forced to use a katana because you're on the katana rampage, so you can't switch weapons. If you skip armor like Mili did, it's a little bit faster, but you can get destroyed there if you're unlucky enough.
And these guys have no mercy.
Yeah. So the next thing he needs to do is he wants to get a phone call through, the same as earlier, and you can only get a phone call through if you actually don't have a wanted level. So Mili uses 2 cop bribes, which removes his 2-star wanted level. Then he uses the save icon to teleport, because he's in the same district, back to the Printworks. And then he finishes the mission while the phone is ringing, and that gives him another on mission 0 phone call that then he can use to insta-pass cherry poppers. So this is why he plays on Japanese version. This is the glitch that we were talking about that is only possible on these releases. Basically how it works is you just hit the courier, and then you start cherry poppers, and cherry poppers passes, right? Sounds simple enough. The reason why this is like so overpowered is you can just chain it over and over again, and every single time you complete the cherry poppers asset, you get +1 on the asset counter, and you need a certain amount of assets to access the final 2 missions of the game. So basically what this allows Mili to do is you just do this 5 times, and you gain 5 assets on the counter, and then the game thinks that you've completed 5 different assets around the map, and you basically skip the entire like second non-linear portion of this game. This saves like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. It skips like a dozen missions. It's very overpowered.
So that's 3.
I really wonder how people thought of these kind of strategies. This was actually found completely by accident. I remember the story of this. Basically, people were messing around on Hit the Courier on Mission 0. And I think it was Patrick was messing around on like the Green Pepper version of the game, which is another Haitian-friendly release. It's the German version. And he needed a vehicle, so he entered the Cherry Poppers van while on this mission, and he didn't crash the game, which is what would usually happen if you started 2 missions at the same time. So yeah, that's how Cherry Poppers was discovered, was completely by accident. Patrick needed a vehicle, and it just so happened to be the vehicle that would insta-pass Cherry Poppers. Fun little piece of Vice City history for you.
You're making an idiot out of me, Tommy, and I'm not laughing yet.
So now he's done the 5 insta-passes, he actually needs to complete the mission. because on top of the 5 assets that you need of your choosing, which is what we've done with the Instapass glitch here, he also needs to complete the Printworks missions, which is what he's doing now, and the Vicetti Estate missions, which is what he did by finishing Copland. So the final Printworks mission is hit the courier, and you've actually got to complete it, you know, conventionally, quote unquote, this time. And basically, a helicopter comes down on a certain timer, and you need to steal some plates for your Printworks. And basically, it's just on a timer, and then you kill a lady, take a briefcase, and bring it back to the Printworks. So when you're on mission 0, you can receive calls, even if you're during missions. So basically, when you're on a phone call, people who are usually aggressive to you, such as these ladies who would usually be attacking you, they actually can't attack you because, like, you know, you're on a phone call and you're busy. So what Mili can do is he can get on a phone call during this mission to basically avoid, like, having to do any of the fighting. And you can also use it to basically answer a load of phone calls that are quite long during the auto-scroller part of this mission while you're just waiting for the lady to drop off the helicopter. The way audio works is, like, if you have one audio line and then you play another audio line on top of it, that second audio line will always overwrite the first one. So that's what he's doing, where he's basically just, like, standing next to this fence. He's triggering a lady to basically say, like, you know, you're not allowed to be here. She says, like, private business, you're not welcome. And basically what you can do is you can take, like, really long phone calls, and then just every single time a new phone call line starts, you just play the shorter, you know, you basically trigger the lady to say that you're not welcome, and then it just keeps skipping the phone call lines. So you can answer a lot of phone calls during this mission while you're waiting, which is very, very fast, because otherwise you'd need to answer them later, which is slow.
Hey, hello, Tommy, we got a situation over at Printworks. You better go and check it out. I don't know, some kind of mess or other. Things are messed up. I gotta go.
Yeah, so second to last mission in the game. Mili is going for another very, very zoomy strat here, where the objective of this mission is to kill 3 sets of collectors that are trying to tax your assets. He's going for another strat here called the CTC snipe, where basically you use a sniper rifle
Bad pixel.
to shoot these guys through the wall. Yeah, it's like almost pixel perfect, so it's a very difficult strat.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it happens. There's worse things to fail in this run.
Stay away!
So yeah, that's a very hard strat, but you can just, you know, go and kill them conventionally. It's not really a big deal. It only saves like 10 seconds or so.
I bet you fail it, it loses like 30.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not, you know, the be-all and end-all if you just do it the normal way.
Vice City is mine now, not his.
Yeah. And then there's 2 more sets of collectors, so you just need to snipe them off their bikes as they drive past, because they're all going towards your only asset that you have, which is cherry poppers. And then, if all goes well, he's also going to death warp right at the end of this. So he kills the next set of collectors, then he drives his bike to deliberately, like, set it on fire, and then he drives into the district that's further south, or he basically dies just as he hits the district line.
Yeah.
So then he dies, and then respawns at the hospital, which is right next to Starfish Island. So then he can take the call for the final mission of the game, and then because of the save warp that we mentioned earlier, he can teleport straight to the mansion to start the mission right away. So usually starting the mission, the final mission of the game, with no weapons would be pretty bad, but it doesn't actually matter because this mission is on a timer. So basically the way it works is Lance has betrayed you, and you're going to kill them, both him and Sunny, right, the final boss. So Lance spawns 60 seconds after the mission starts, and Sunny spawns 2 minutes after the mission starts, as long as Lance is dead. So you have 2 minutes here to get as many guns as you like, and as long as you're in time to kill Lance and Sunny, you don't actually lose any time, because otherwise you'd just be waiting on them anyway. So Mili is going to go to the hardware store and buy a chainsaw, because it's all you need. This chainsaw is the most broken weapon in the game.
And close replay.
Yeah, and he also made a close replay one final time. And the idea of this strategy is usually you would just, this mission would be very easy. You would sort of wait around and then watch the cutscene where you have like the final showdown with Sonny and kill him afterwards. But this strategy, what it does is use a close replay to gain control in the final cutscene where you have the showdown with Sonny, and you kill him in the cutscene with the chainsaw.
No. Cover your ass now.
It requires like very particular timing, and it's a very tricky set of inputs. Yeah, we'll see if Mili is up to the task. But yeah, here usually you would have to chase Lance up to the roof and kill him with a bunch of other guys. But if you're fast enough, you can just sprint up to him, punch him, which like staggers him, and then just like stun lock him with the chainsaw. So then, as you can see, we're still on time to wait for Sonny, even after all that sidetracking.
Yep. I almost didn't get it. And GG.
Nice. There you go. Sonny's dead. Yeah. End of the run, just like that. GG.
Thank you for GG's.
Tommy? Oh my God, Tommy! What happened?
The run was awful, as my usual marathon run looks.
It looks like you ruined your suit. And
Has there
Tommy,
ever been, you know, a good no SSU running at a marathon?
I don't think so.
Something that goes wrong.
Business associate. You know.
Game's hard. It looks easy.
Yeah.
Send them an angry letter. Maybe I pee in their mailbox. I don't start World War III.
It's not nearly as RNG as GTA 3
That's
which is happening today as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the final run of the marathon.
Real shit. The final day, the best games.
You took him out.
I don't think we're gonna be getting any more heat from up
But before
north
that,
either.
we've got a bit of a. This was a sprint. We've got a bit of a marathon afterwards.
All down
because we've got Crucial coming up with GTA San Andreas and another 100% classic run. So basically 100% with no dupes or insta passes or anything like that.
You know, Ken, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful business relationship.
This is everything from me. Thank you for having me. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, maybe see you later again.
Alright, we'll go and get Crucial and his boys set up. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere.